In the early 2000s, there was one company that seemed unstoppable. Its phones were everywhere, in homes, in schools, in businesses, in every country around the world, for hundreds of millions of people. Their very first phone was a Nokia. And for years, Nokia wasn't just the biggest mobile phone company in the world. It was mobile phones. Its dominance was so massive that many believed nobody could ever challenge it. But within just a few years, everything collapsed. The company that once dominated global technology lost almost everything. And the most shocking part? It wasn't destroyed because it lacked money. It was destroyed because it failed to realize the world was changing. Nokia's story began long before smartphones. The company was founded in Finland during the 19th century, and originally, it had nothing to do with technology. Nokia went through multiple industries: paper, rubber, cables, electronics, until eventually, it turned toward telecommunications. And that decision would change the company forever. During the 1990s, the world began entering the mobile phone era, and Nokia happened to be in the right place at exactly the right time. Back then, mobile phones were not yet smart. They were mainly communication devices, tools for calls and text messages, and Nokia kept getting better at exactly that. Its phones were durable, easy to use, equipped with long battery life, extremely reliable, and that became a huge advantage. Models like the Nokia 3310, the Nokia 1100, the Nokia 6600 became legendary. The Nokia 1100 even became one of the best-selling electronic devices in history. The company dominated globally. At one point, Nokia controlled more than 40% of the global mobile phone market. That level of dominance was almost unimaginable. And this is where the real problem slowly began. When a company becomes too successful, it often starts believing it cannot lose. Nokia had thousands of engineers, massive budgets, and incredible hardware expertise. But according to many former employees, the company culture slowly became slow, bureaucratic, afraid of major change. Many managers were afraid to deliver bad news upward. And that created a dangerous environment. Because while the world was changing, Nokia kept operating as if it had unlimited time. Steve Jobs walks onto a stage and introduces the very first iPhone. For many people, that became one of the most important moments in technology history. But at first, many people inside Nokia were not impressed. Some believed the iPhone was too expensive, technically weak. Not a real phone, because Nokia was still thinking mainly in terms of hardware specs, battery life, durability. But Apple saw something completely different. The future would not simply be a mobile phone, it would be a computer in your pocket. And Nokia failed to understand how quickly that future was arriving. Nokia's biggest problem was not hardware, it was software. Its operating system, Symbian, was beginning to feel outdated, complicated, slow, unfriendly to developers. And at the exact same time, Google launches Android. Suddenly, an entirely new ecosystem is born. Apps, touchscreens, mobile internet. And the market changes incredibly fast. Nokia tries to react, but internal conflicts delay critical decisions. Time is lost, and the market starts moving away. Sales begin falling. Apple rises. Android explodes. And Nokia rapidly loses ground. The most dangerous part? The collapse happens much faster than anyone expected. Within just a few years, the company that once dominated the world looks completely lost. Investors panic. The stock crashes, and pressure inside the company becomes enormous. In 2011, new CEO Stephen Elop makes a dramatic statement. He calls Nokia a burning platform, meaning a platform that is already on fire and must be abandoned before total destruction. Nokia partners with Microsoft and chooses Windows Phone instead of Android. And that decision turns out to be disastrous. The ecosystem cannot compete with iPhone or Android. Developers do not support the platform. Users move away. And eventually, Nokia sells its mobile division to Microsoft. For many people, that was the symbolic end of an era. Nokia did not fail because it lacked money. It did not fail because it lacked engineers. It failed because it underestimated change. It moved too slowly. And it protected its old business model. The company had the technology, it had the brand, it had the market. But it did not have the ability to adapt fast enough. And in technology, that can be fatal. Nokia's story is one of the most important business stories ever. Because it shows something extremely dangerous. Even the biggest companies in the world can collapse very quickly. Especially when they start believing they are untouchable. And maybe that is Nokia's greatest lesson. In technology, being the leader today does not guarantee you will survive tomorrow.